years, I'm a real veteran. Not too many to spend the time that I've spent. I'm the only content creator that tells people to audit my content. Hear me say it, whatever you're trying to debate me on, just drop it. And those 6 words are, you don't want to bet me. Because if you do, you're getting ready to lose some money. This is one of those times you don't want to bet me. There is no such thing as an ISO 20022 compliant token.
ISO is a messaging standard. It does not apply to any single cryptocurrency.
There's no such thing as an ISO 20022 compliant cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency or blockchain?
There's no such thing as an ISO 20022 cryptocurrency and or blockchain.
The one thing that I hate more than meme coins are influencers who mislead people. As an influencer, you have a responsibility to your viewers to get the information right. And when you don't, people get hurt. So today I'm going to hold you accountable. Now, I don't want to say that you're so blinded by your own personal agenda or your ego that you're purposely deceitful. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you're inadequate at understanding what it is that you're actually reading. I'm not an influencer, I'm an educator. So sit down at your desk because you're going to learn today. If you're reading this page and you think coins like XRP, XLM, and XDC have no actual place in the ISO 222 messaging system, you have no idea what you're actually reading. When we say ISO 222 compliant cryptos, what we really mean is certain cryptocurrencies can be used on ISO 222 compliant networks to facilitate ISO standard financial messaging. When you say there is no such thing as an ISO 222 compliant coin, you are focusing on a technicality in language, the word compliant, rather than addressing our underlying point, which is when used in the right context, these coins are functionally compatible with executing ISO 222 financial messaging. You are focused on terminology or certification, while we are focusing on how they actually operate within compliance systems. You got this off of the ISO 222 website. Now, the frequently asked questions is worded in a very particular way. I'm going to break it down the way a lawyer or a real researcher would, line by line. When it says not inherently compliant, they're talking about formal certification. ISO 222 is a financial messaging standard, not a registry of cryptos. It doesn't certify coins just like it doesn't certify dollars or gold. So no, not XRP, not XLM, not Bitcoin has a certified ISO 222 compliant coin. But that's not the argument pro-utility holders are making. Our argument is this: coins like XRP, XLM, and XDC can be used within ISO 222 compliant networks to facilitate financial messages that follow the ISO 222 financial standard. Come on, line by line. While financial institutions and payment systems have adopted or are in the process of adopting ISO 222 standards for their operations, cryptocurrencies generally operate outside the traditional financial system. Yes, while that is true, most crypto projects are not interoperable with traditional finance, but projects like Stellar and Ripple are bridging into traditional financial systems. Finish the sentence. And do not adhere to the ISO 222 standard by default. Yes, again, that is true. Most cryptocurrencies are not ISO 222 compliant out of the box, but this doesn't prevent them from being used in an ISO 222 compliant system through middleware and API integration. Okay, finish it. Cryptocurrencies have their own protocol and messaging formats that are specific to each cryptocurrency's blockchain. But isn't RippleNet and Stellar and their native assets designed to work with ISO 222 compliant infrastructures? I'll prove it to you. Now, I don't know if this was pure laziness, or maybe you just didn't think that it was relevant, but how the hell did we miss the next FAQs directly underneath this one? Can a blockchain company be ISO 222 compliant? Yes, some cryptocurrency exchange and payment processors may implement ISO 222 compliance for their internal process or interactions with traditional finance. This is exactly what RippleNet does. RippleNet, which runs on top of the XRP ledger, is built to support ISO 222 financial messaging formats for cross-border payments. And while XRP's token is not certified, it is used within a certified messaging environment. And the same applies to Stellar. Stellar's based fintechs like Tempo and Circle's USDC utilize Stellar Network to move assets. And the back-end systems integrate ISO 222 messages through APIs and reconciliation layers. Okay, so let's be completely clear. The blockchain protocol like XRP Ledger or Stellar at the protocol level is not inherently compliant, but the messaging layer built on top of them absolutely can be and is compliant. How about this one? How did you miss this? Can I indicate cryptocurrencies into the ISO 222 messages? And the answer is yes. Oh my God. Cryptocurrencies can be transported as data content in ISO 222 messages, but are not validated. Cryptocurrency validation will be implemented in a future version. So what does this mean? Yes, XRP and XLM can be utilized and included in ISO 222 financial messages, but they're not formally recognized like the US dollar or the euro is according to ISO 4217. Now, I'm sure you don't understand what that ISO standard means either. You let me know and I'll make another video. But the messages can still carry the data. This means that the standard is ready. It doesn't just do formal currency for validation of crypto just yet. So instead of playing language police, why don't you try to actually understand how coins like XRP, XLM, and XDC actually function inside of the system that you're pretending to understand? I'm not letting you off the hook. Here's my research. RippleNet carries payment instruction, which uses the ISO 222 as its basis. Ripple's Interledger Protocol. This protocol can create a truly interconnected financial system where value can flow freely between different blockchain networks and traditional financial systems. Additionally, what does that say? The ISO 222 standard for financial messaging is being explored as a potential facilitator for blockchain interoperability. That's what the ILP does, isn't it? Providing a common language for financial transactions that could bridge the gap between blockchain networks and traditional financial systems. Ripple. With this in mind, an interoperability framework based on ISO 222 where financial institutions can select a platform that suits their needs is necessary. What platform do they say there? The Interledger Protocol? The emergence of a common interchain message protocol based on an ISO standard, Ripple's Interledger Protocol. Oh, but I thought blockchains and the native assets were not ISO compliant. Innovations like blockchain improvised correspondent banking networks and the adoption of ISO 222 message standards now make it possible to move money instantly and securely around the clock. ISO 222, instant settlement via APIs and digital assets? Digital assets? The ISO 222 architecture is designed to include blockchain transactions and application program interfaces. What does this say? ISO 222 compliance standards such as Ripple? A blockchain-enabled framework for cross-border payments? Ripple and Stellar have demonstrated near-instant cross-border transfers? Ripple and Stellar? Next generation payment standards, ISO 222. How are these words getting put together? Blockchain integration with ISO 222 for future cross-border payments. Once ISO 222 is established, APIs will enable banks and fintechs. Fintechs? Fintech companies to connect directly with Swift's international payments. Despite being lukewarm about blockchain, Swift is also hoping to steal a march on cryptocurrencies by making its system compatible with blockchain-based trade platforms. R3. Who's working with R3 Corda? Oh my God, this is the XDC white paper. XDC is the fundamental utility token of the XDC network. The network's ISO 222 compliant messaging system ensures interoperability with Swift, XDC, and the full compliance and interoperability with the ISO 222 financial messaging standards. It doesn't say the XDC network, it says XDC. What about a case study from the Bank of International Settlements? ISO 222 can be adopted as a standardized messaging protocol for digital asset transactions? Oh my God, yes! Users can operate DLT nodes and interact directly with ISO 222 to facilitate interactions with eternal players. Let's go to the Swift's website. What does this say? Blockchain cash wallet. Blockchain cash wallets, where digital currencies are maintained. This is the equivalent of a cash account for digital currencies. Again, ISO 222, digital ledger identifier. Let's go back to the BIS, the next generation monetary and financial systems. The BIS is talking about tokenization and the unified ledger. If you don't know who's working on the unified ledger, it's your ISOs. Did you think I was lying? ISO 222, these efforts became even more important as jurisdictions advanced towards a new tokenized systems. And another one, ISO 222, an example is Ripple with the use of RippleNet through the XRP token. Currently, 7 cryptocurrencies may have officially been reported compatible. You can keep arguing about semantics all day and getting stuck on the choice of words that we decide to use. Maybe it's time to stop reading FAQs and start paying attention to the whole infrastructure that's being built right behind you.